questions quickly.
At the Lincoln dinner in Spooner, Congressman Duffy spent considerable time talking about balancing the budget, the national debt, and raising the national debt limit.
We're borrowing $1 trillion a year. We're going to borrow $1 trillion a year on average for the next 10 years. There's no end in sight. This is crazy. And so, I would tell you, it's so bad that when we passed our House budget this summer, you guys remember when we passed? Some called it Paul Ryan's budget again, but it was the House budget. Do you remember, what did people say about that budget? You know, they said people would call it extreme. Some people said it was radical. Remember that? Anyone know how long it takes the House, our House budget that we passed over the summer, how long it takes to actually balance the budget? Not pay down the debt, but balance the budget. Any takers?
Never.
Well, the numbers in the budget will tell you it takes 40 years to balance. Okay? But the correct answer is never. Because the way we balance it is we use today's interest rates, which are at historic lows. If you go to historic norms, that budget doesn't balance. That's how bad it is. And you saw the outcry of people when we talked about that budget, and that didn't do the job. This country is going to have a real conversation about how we balance the American budget. And I promise you it will not be just a Republican solution. Democrats have to come to the table. And it won't just be a Democrat solution. Both parties will have to get something done to get this, this problem addressed. And so some of you might go, well, what have you guys been doing to make sure you address the problem? And I would say, well, let's look at the CR debate from a year ago. And I would tell you that we cut $38 to $39 billion, and you would all tell me that wasn't enough, right? Yeah. I agree with you. I would say in the debt limit negotiations, I would say we cut $1.2 trillion, and you'd say yes, but the money is spent in the first year and a half, and all the cuts are 10 years from now, if they even happen, right? And you'd say that's not enough. I would agree with you. And I know that there's a level of frustration in this room about what's happening in Washington. I know it because Dan even tells me about it, very frankly. But I think we have to be cognizant of the movement we're making, and also then put it into perspective. So, where have we gone? This is the first time we've actually cut spending, right? First time. First time we've gone from increasing budgets and increasing spending to actually starting, and I should be very clear, not reducing spending, but reducing the projected growth of spending. That's what we've done. Which is a move in the right direction, okay? Some of you here would say, we should have shut the government down with the CR. Some of you would argue for that, yes? Yes. Some of you would say, don't raise the debt limit, right? Yes. Because the house is burning down. Okay? And there's some people in the House that would agree with that philosophy. Okay? Some would say that's a good plan. Others might say, if you do that, you might get what? 50 billion more? 100 billion more? 200 billion more? How much more would you get? You might win the battle. Okay? But if you have a Senate and a President that's not willing to come to the table, now won't come to the table and address this issue in this country. You shut the government down. You don't raise the debt limit. How does this president win re-election? He runs against us. And some would argue that if you do that, you've given a gold ticket for re-election to Mr. Obama. And if you do that, you might have won the battle, but have you won the war? Yeah, think about that. There's a strategy. So not everyone says pushing it so far and driving the car off the cliff in the end gets you the right result.